When we think about freedom, what usually comes to mind? Weekends, maybe a couple of vacation weeks a year. Well, I came across this really interesting article that suggests we should be thinking way bigger. It lays out this powerful framework for totally breaking free from the 9-to-5 grind. It's all about redefining what it really means to be in control of your life and your work. So let's dive in and see what it's all about.
So let me ask you something. Does this feel familiar? That feeling of just being on a treadmill, You're running on a schedule somebody else made, stuck in a place you have to be, and there's this invisible ceiling on what you can actually achieve. The article makes a great point here. Just admitting that you feel this way, that's the absolute first, most essential step towards making any real change.
And that first step, it's all in your head. It's a mental shift. This classic quote really frames the whole idea perfectly. This isn't some overnight fix, not at all. It's a journey, a deliberate, conscious choice to say, okay, I'm stepping away from the way things are and to start building something totally new for yourself.
Okay, so where does a journey like that even begin? Well, it all starts with this really fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about moving from a life of obligation, all the stuff you feel you have to do, to a life of intention, where you're focused on what you actually choose to do.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? Let's look at the difference. A life of obligation is totally reactive. Your time, where you live, your income, it's all dictated by someone or something else. But a life of intention, that's proactive. It's about you building a system where you have control over those exact same things. And the goal here, it's not just about working differently. It's about living differently, driven by what you want to create and what you want to achieve financially.
All right, so this idea of an intentional life sounds great, but what does it actually look like? How do we make it more concrete? Well, the source material breaks it down into 6 really distinct types of freedom. You can think of them like pillars, the very foundation that holds up this new way of living and working.
So let's get into it. We're going to explore this framework for freedom, breaking down each one of these 6 pillars.
First up is time freedom. Now this is a big one. It's all about finally breaking that age-old link between the hours you put in and the money you make. It's about you gaining full, complete ownership of your 24 hours a day, deciding when you work, when you rest, when you play, all without having to ask for anyone's permission.
Next, we have wealth freedom. And let's be clear, this isn't just about being rich in the traditional sense. It's about tearing down those artificial ceilings on your earning potential. The real goal is to build assets that give you security, that give you options, so you can actually pursue opportunities without being trapped in that stressful paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
Then we've got location freedom. The idea here is so simple but so powerful. Your life shouldn't have to revolve around your job's location. It should be the other way around. Your work should be flexible enough to fit the life you want to live, whether that's from your couch, a cool coffee shop, or literally halfway across the globe.
Okay, pillar number 4 is creative freedom. This one is all about the work itself. Just think about your day for a second. How much of it do you spend on tasks that just drain you versus the tasks that genuinely light you up and excite you? The whole point here is to dramatically, fundamentally shift that balance, so you're spending your energy on work that actually feels creative and fulfilling.
Now, this next pillar highlights such a crucial point. What's the point of success if you don't have your health? Health freedom is all about having the time and, just as importantly, the mental space to actually prioritize your physical and your mental well-being. It's about being free from that constant burnout and that guilt that so often comes with a high-pressure career.
And finally, we have travel freedom. The article presents this one as almost the natural result of achieving all the others. Think about it. When you finally control your time, your money, and your location, well, the whole world just opens up. You're no longer stuck with a limited number of vacation days to try and squeeze in seeing all the places you've always dreamed of.
Okay, so these 6 freedoms, they sound pretty incredible, right? But the big question is, how on earth do you actually get them? Well, the source points to one single, really powerful engine that drives this whole transformation. And that engine, it's what the article calls intentional personal growth. Here's the core argument. These external freedoms, time, wealth, location, they don't just magically appear. They are the direct result of deliberate internal work. It's about making a conscious effort to change your mindset, to learn new skills, and to take consistent, focused action towards your goal.
And this quote, man, it just captures the essence of this idea so perfectly. You can't build a new life using old tools and outdated mindsets. It's impossible. If you want a different life, you just can't keep doing things the old way. You have to, essentially, upgrade your own internal operating system.
your habits, your beliefs, your skills, before your external reality can ever really change. It is the absolute foundation for everything else.
So, we've walked through the problem, we've looked at the 6 freedoms, and we've identified the engine of change. But what's the final takeaway from the source material? Where does it leave us?
Well, it's really important to point out that the source itself presents this whole framework as a kind of call to action. It's basically an invitation to join a community of people who are on the same path. The idea they put forward is that this kind of personal growth is a lot faster and way more sustainable when you're not trying to do it all by yourself.
And all of this brings us to one final, and I think really powerful question for you to think about. After exploring all 6 of these freedoms, time, wealth, location, creative, health, and travel, if you could unlock just one of them today, right now, which one would you choose first? Which one would make the absolute biggest impact on your life, starting today?